Hello and welcome back to the Sports Babble. I was going to call it the Sports Babble TV or the Sports Babble Football Show, but I don't really know how that works. We'll see. I might change the name on it coming up, but we'll see. This is just a little roundup for me of what went on in the Premier League and before this weekend. And before anyone jumps on me, yes, I am aware there are other leagues than the English Premier League, and hopefully going forward, I'll be able to cover a bit more of all the leagues that are on. The Scottish League, obviously, with a lot of fans over here. The Irish League is one I want to get stuck into and cover, and the League of Ireland before it finishes up. But I support Liverpool. The Premier League came back this weekend. I'm going to talk about it. Deal with it if you don't like it. But still subscribe to my page because it sort of helps me build it up. Thanks. Premier League came back on Friday night and it was a super game of football. Maybe not so much if you're a Leicester fan, and probably, at the end you're happy enough if you're an Arsenal fan, but you probably come away from it thinking, what are we doing at the back? A bit like Liverpool, which we'll get on to. The game started really well for Arsenal, and Lacazette goal to set them off after only 2 minutes, which, 2 minutes in your Premier League debut and you score, you can't really ask for much more than that from one of your. I think is he their record signing? I think he might be, but what a player! He's going to be. I wanted Lacazette. Anybody that sort of knows me or some close friends will know as a Liverpool fan that I have been screaming for Liverpool to sign Lacazette. I seen him last year in the Europa League as well. I think it was against Roma. He scored an absolute peach, and I wanted then Liverpool to hand in the money over Leon and say, we'll take him off your hands when the season's over. But they didn't. He ended up going to Arsenal, and now he's probably going to score a bag full of goals to them. Arsenal's main concern won't be scoring goals clearly this year. It's going to be stopping goals. And as kamikaze, hilarious, heroic Kolasinac is at the back, he's going to need some help or they're going to leak goals serious. He is brilliant to watch, because he's just gung-ho and he's just a human wrecking ball. But if Arsenal are serious and they want to really, I know they were missing defenders before anyone jumps on me, and that's fair enough. I don't think any of the defenders that they were missing are good enough to win a Premier League either, so they're going to need to strengthen. And the three at the back just didn't work against Leicester. What didn't really help was the two boys in midfield, El Neni and Xhaka, just deciding to leave massive gaps, and Leicester exploited that, and they're going to do that. They have pace to kick forward. Leicester kicked on into a 2-1 lead, and I thought they're going to go on here. Leicester certainly looked like they're going to go on and get another one, which could have been curtains for Arsenal. But fair play to Arsenal, they hung in there, and Welbeck managed to pull them level. And as I said, they went on. If you haven't seen it, you can catch the highlights anywhere. They went on to win the game with Giroud coming on. Would you believe? Super sub. Who'd have thought it? It's not as if he ever does that. And came on the 85th minute to win the game for Arsenal. I'm not Olivier Giroud's biggest fan. I can't really explain it. There's just something about him I just can't warm to. Liverpool could end up signing him and I'll end up eating my words. I highly doubt it, but that would be hilarious. But any talk of Arsenal selling him, from Arsenal's point of view, should really just be quashed, because they're going to need him coming into the season. And he just looks like, when he came on, he just gave them something extra. And he scored the winner. And what more can you want from a substitute? So, a good result for Arsenal. They got a win. That's the main thing. They got the 3 points. They'll be delighted with that. But going forward, when they play against some of the tighter teams at the back and some of the teams that are more clinical up front, despite actually getting 3 goals, they had bundles of chances. They could come under serious trouble with that defence. So we'll see what happens. Saturday morning. Yeah, that was a good laugh, wasn't it? No, it wasn't at all. Liverpool decided to turn up to Watford. Forget all of the good work they've done through pre-season defending wise, and towards the tail end of last season where they looked a bit more solid, and decided to chuck in 3 goals more or less away to Watford, as you do. Troy Deeney wasn't even playing. I don't know how that happened. I'm still annoyed by this, and did sulk, and I'll put my hands up and admit it, did sulk for 2 to 3 hours afterwards, to the point where I gave myself a sore head. I just couldn't deal with the fact that we were so useless at the back, not just as a defence. Some of the defenders were, sorry I put my jazz hand at you there, some of the defenders played alright, up until we got set pieces where their heads fell completely off. Moreno he had a good game, he wasn't like, he gets bullied off the ball for the second um, goal, but I'm not really sure what many people expect him to do there. Do you want him to just drag the fella down and give away a free kick because it's in a dangerous position? Then Joe Gomez, when he's on, he gives away a silly foul, which ends up we don't recover from, and they score somehow from a corner towards the last kick of the game. It was close to the last kick of the game, and when Wijnaldum ducks his head and forgets to head the ball away. Not a great day defensive wise at all for Liverpool. 22 months. I think we have is it under Klopp now where we haven't really looked amazing at set pieces. We haven't looked great as a team at set pieces or defending since Rafa, but that's a whole different argument. Going forward though, for 15 to 20 minutes, Salah, Firmino and Mane together all looked brilliant. Firmino worked his socks off the whole game. Mane I thought was Liverpool's man of the match. He was brilliant and his goal was class. And Salah looked a little bit nervy on his debut, but grew into it and managed to score, and probably should have had maybe one more, certainly, probably two, possibly two more, but that'll come. Liverpool going forward looks good. The midfield non-existent, that needs fixed. But fair play to Watford, they hung in there, and big Okaka, because he is massive. He is humongous. Was just bullying Liverpool all day up front for them. So yeah, Marco Silva, I don't think he's lost a game at home as a manager yet. So he keeps that record going, and he's a tidy manager. Watford they'll be tough enough at home this year. I wouldn't say they're solid enough because they conceded 3 goals, but they'll hang in there with teams and they can cause teams trouble. So that'll be interesting. Then we get on to Saturday's afternoon games, and 2 teams that tipped for relegation. So I obviously know what I'm talking about. They went and won. Huddersfield went and won 3-0 at Crystal Palace. At Crystal Palace, it used to be the ground that you'd sort of dread going to as a fan, as an away team, because their atmosphere is probably, as a home ground, is probably one of the best in Premier League, and their team always seems to be tight, seems to be up for it. Benteke will cause you problems. No, didn't seem to bother Huddersfield at all. First time back in the top flight since 1972, win 3-0. Steve Mounier gets 2 goals in Premier League debut. What? And they coasted to a 3-0 win, and were top of the league for a while. So that started well. Then Burnley, they also went and decided to beat last year's champions 3-2 at Stamford Bridge. Did not see that one coming. And I don't think any of the Chelsea fans are too happy this morning. Not only with obviously getting beat, not happy with Craig Poisson. They're not really happy with their squad. Their squad looks terrible. They've no depth. And what's even making it worse is your players like Matic playing today, who they sold to United and having a brilliant game for United. And Kurt Zuma, yes, Stoke did get beaten, we'll talk about it in a second, but he had a good game for Stoke. They're going to probably need a centre-half now as cover because Gary Cahill's going to be suspended. And Conte is not a happy man. Strange result from Chelsea. You just don't see it happening. You don't really think of them, and I don't know what they did last year in Conte, in the start of Conte's reign. You don't really think of them conceding 3 goals at home, and you don't think of them playing as poorly as they did in the first half under Antonio Conte. Even though they were beat before he got settled last year, I think Arsenal beat them 3-0 at the Emirates. They still weren't as poor as they were on Saturday, and that'll be worrying for Conte because unless they get reinforcements, he's in big trouble to try and win league title with them this year. Positives: Alvaro Morata looked very good when he came on. Took his goal well, and his flick for there's another wee header. His flick for David Luiz's goal was sublime. So there are little positives there, but big worries for Chelsea going forward. And I dare say their fans are probably going to be looking at the half-10 news on Twitter every night for the next 3 weeks, hoping something breaks and they sign a couple of new players and a couple of players that can go straight into the first team squad by the looks of it. We also had wins for West Brom. We had Swansea and Southampton drew. One of the better stories of the day, a nice story of the day, was Wayne Rooney coming back on it for his debut, or his second homecoming at Everton, and scoring, and ended up scoring the winner. And by all accounts, seemed to have a brilliant game. I only caught the highlights of Match of the Day, so you don't really know how good a game he had, but we were reading the match reports this morning and different things that he, and I know I had a friend who was at the game who said he was very good. So that's a positive. Well done, Wayne Rooney, coming back into it. You blue nose. I was going to say you blue and curse after it, but I won't. It's nice to see him. He will get a bit of stick off us as Liverpool fans, and he did play for Manchester United, so we're not his biggest fan, obviously, but it is nice to see him coming back and scoring a goal and seeing how much it meant to him to score for Everton. A good win for them, 1-0 over Stoke. As Ronald Koeman said, I don't think they had their best game under him, and you can't really expect to have your best game, or you shouldn't have your best game at the first game of the season, because then you're in big trouble going forward. But yeah, a solid win for Everton. Pickford, a couple of good saves, and he looked very solid. Will Keane looked solid at the back. So going forward, yeah, they look okay. Everton, they might surprise us. They might close the gap to the top six. I still think there may be one or two real quality players short of breaking in the top six, but I think they'll go close, and I think they could be up there, and certainly in the cups, certainly in the Europa League. I think they have a chance of doing quite well in the Europa League. I don't think they'll win it, but I think they'll do quite well in it. So be interesting going forward. I did get a bit of stick off some Everton fans for picking Liverpool to come third in my predictions. Bear in mind, I did pick Huddersfield and Burnley to get relegated, so clearly know what I'm doing here. But yeah, we'll see what happens. What else was happening in the Premier League? There was today's games, which seen certainly a hero of mine, Rafa Benitez, come back in the Premier League with Spurs. But he has this player playing for him called John Joe Shelby. Everybody knows who John Joe Shelby is. He's a complete moron. He decided to stomp. It wasn't so much of a stomp. It was just it was a silly stand on Dele Alli, literally 5 yards from Andrew Marner. Gets himself sent off, and Spurs go on quite comfortably to win 2-0. And that did change the game, because Newcastle looked. Although Spurs were a wee bit all over them, they were all over them up to a certain point of the final third. Newcastle looked comfortable enough and could probably have seen out get that draw and start off a season, just ease themselves back into Premier League football. But no, Shelby ruins it with a silly sending off, and he does this too many times. He just loses the head too many times, and this happens, and Spurs win it quite comfortably. Goals from Dele Alli and Ben Davies. So if you have Ben Davies in your fantasy team, you probably got a bit of a decent score there. I didn't, so This afternoon's game, which finished off the Premier League, was a bit of an easy route for Manchester United. 4-0 at home to West Ham. I don't think 4-0 is a fair scoreline. 2-0 was comfortable enough, and then West Ham decided... Well, actually no, West Ham decided from the start of the game that they weren't coming here to win the game. They were coming here just to make sure they weren't beaten 4-0. That didn't work out. They didn't really offer much at all, West Ham. United were quite comfortable. Matic in midfield looked brilliant. He played really well. He was controlled midfield for Manchester United. Juan Mata and Mkhitaryan were causing problems, especially Juan Mata's movement. I really am a big fan of Juan Mata, despite him playing for Manchester United. But I am a big fan of Juan Mata. I think he's a brilliant footballer, and he's so clever in his runs in the first half. He should have scored once, and he did lay it across for Lukaku the second time. Unfortunately for Lukaku, he did go on and score it, but Bonner managed to get back and clear it. But his runs were just causing West Ham havoc. Big Romelu Lukaku though, he was just as Thierry Henry was saying about his movement and how he needs to sort of make his movement instead of waiting for the ball to direct where he's going. He pops up and slams home his first Premier League goal for Manchester United in the first half. Tidy finish. I think Joe Hart thought he was going to go to the other corner, and he slipped it in past him, just in off the post, and that's him off and running. Now, he did score a second one, and Manchester United went on to win 4-0 with goals from Anthony Martial off the bench, and then a long range shot from Paul Pogba, where Joe Hart decides to dive over the ball instead of diving at the ball and saving it. I mean, it's a strange technique as a goalkeeper, but fair play to him if that's the way he wants to go, and fair play to him. But yeah, Lukaku scored, but Lukaku, we know this from Lukaku. Lukaku is going to score against these teams in the Premier League. What you want to see from Lukaku is can he replicate this on a regular basis against the top 7? It'll be interesting to see how he gets on with that. He has struggled at times when he comes up against better defenders, maybe tougher defenders. So we'll see what happens. But certainly for Manchester United, that's them top of the league, first game of the season, and they're off and running. So they can't complain. 4-0 home win. Josie will be loving that. Still a wee bit. They're still, I think, going forward charging for the title. I still think they'll fall a bit short. They'll fall short. I think Man City won 2-0 on Saturday afternoon at Brighton, and I think it was good. It was hard work for them. Brighton at home, some atmosphere, and Brighton put it up to them, but they managed to go through it and win 2-0. I still think Man City have too much for the Premier League this year. Gabriel Jesus and Aguero look like they could be forming a little decent partnership together, and they've Kevin De Bruyne behind them, David Silva, and Fernandinho holding the fort, and then you've Bernardo Silva to come in, and Sterling, Leroy Sané. So I think they'll be alright, Man City. But yeah, there you go. All in all, a tidy weekend of football. Not much defending. And then Tottenham and Manchester United today showed up and kept clean sheets. So they did show us that there is still some defending in the Premier League. But as a whole, you can't really complain. As a neutral to some of the games, you can certainly complain if you're a Liverpool fan that you can't defend set pieces, or Chelsea fans that your heads just fell off the first game of the season. But yeah, that's us back up and running for the Premier League. So let's see how it goes. 37 more games to go, folks. Interesting. Just to finish off my video, that's my Premier League done. I don't think I missed out any games. I think I talked about them all. I hope I did. I was down this morning, which was Sunday morning, meeting some of the Craigavon Cowboys, watching them go through their walkthrough before their bowl game, which is coming up next Sunday in Dundalk against the Louth Mavericks. I got to interview one of the players, and that's going to be coming up during the week. I'm hopefully going to interview another one and tie that interview together. I'm going to try to do a little preview show for them and tie it in just on Friday night, sort of before they go off on Sunday for the game. Also as well, delighted that they've invited me to come to their game and vlog it. So the Sports Babble are going to the bowl game, and we're going to vlog our day out watching the Craigavon Cowboys hopefully win the bowl, and then celebrate on the way home. But thanks to the guys for inviting me down today. I really appreciate it, and it was nice to watch us go through training and see what's done and what happens. There was a brilliant atmosphere down there between all the lads. Everyone seems very excited and very pumped up and ready to go. So it's going to be a long week for those boys getting ready for this final, but hopefully everybody stays injury free. You go through a good week, and then you'll get down and win that. But thanks again for watching. That was my little Premier League preview or review show. El Clasico's on tonight. Looking forward to that. Neymar makes his PSG debut. Haven't told my fiance yet that there's going to be another 4 or 5 hours of football on the TV. So that's probably not going to go down too well. Should be alright. But yes, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell all your mates. It's important you tell all your mates and get this out there because, well, it's important for me really, if I'm honest, because I want it to grow. I want it to get bigger. I want more people to see it. Also, if you're sitting at home and you're watching or you're commenting and chatting to me on Facebook and Twitter and different things, and you maybe think that, I could go on and help him doing that, come on down. Tweet me, Facebook message me, Facebook comment, whatever. Let's get in touch and I'll get you on. The more people on this, the better. I want this to be a bigger thing. I don't just particularly want this to be me talking all the time in the camera to you about what's going on in sport. I'd rather there was people around me and we had a debate and we chatted, because the more opinions the better. So if you're thinking about it, come and get involved. It's really easy. I interviewed a Craigavon Cowboy today, and I said to him after, how'd you feel about that? How'd it go? And he just laughed and he said it was comfortable. It was easy. Like you are looking at a camera, but once you sort of get used to that, it just starts to flow, and that's the way it is. I'm not going to look at you any other way. Just come down, have a chat. I'll even accept Manchester United fans. Come on, let's all get involved in this. We'll have a good chat. But yes, thanks for watching. And as said, subscribe to the page on YouTube, on Facebook and Twitter at The Sports Babble. And also a big thank you to everyone that watched the last video and sent some lovely comments about Alex. I know some of you have donated, and some of you have asked me about how I donated or how to donate and how you can help. I'll get back to you. But thanks very much, appreciate it. The wee woman goes off tomorrow morning, Monday, for a big trip, and everyone just wishes her all the best. Thanks.